Okay. So
So, now let me explain. So a concept is any and all concepts that you can think of that are out of versal, the high out of versal, or whatever. Depends on the series. Depends on how you argue it, obviously. But a concept is the all inherent holding thing, more or less, right? That's like the lowest level of like metaphysics. It's usually discussions or questions. Those are topics. We then have to go into something else, which is called principles. A principle is a rule or the will, if you will, of a system. A principle in of itself, literally, you can just think of it as a rule. Well, it's so fundamental in scope that we're not simply just talking about a rule of sorts, like when you're in a classroom and the teacher tells you to be quiet.
okay.
In this case, a principle would be like an underlying mechanic, so to speak, of a system. Now, going up, we talk about these things called systems. Systems are the very philosophies themselves. Any and all philosophy you can think of by name, that's a system. These systems work because they have a set of concepts, and you're able to explore these concepts via having a set of principles within a system. Now, for every system, there's this thing called a belief or an axiom. This is the most fundamental level of metaphysics.
Yeah.
You literally cannot go any deeper than this. It is not only physically possible, but metaphysically impossible also. It is actually just impossible to go beyond axioms. We're at the deepest level here. Axioms themselves are beliefs. If you believe God exists, if you believe God doesn't exist, if you believe that exists, or if you believe this or that doesn't exist, essentially they're your core beliefs, if you will, the things you think are true, that you grant truth to.
All right.
Right.
Well, that being said,
So these are the most fundamental of things. You use axioms to then determine which system works for you, and then you have to come up with how your system works with a set of oughts and ought nots. So that when you have these sets of oughts and ought nots, you can explore concepts in scope.
okay. Well, that being said, I mean, Hope, unmute yourself so you can help me out here because you know more about the Emperor than I do, and you're sitting here quiet. If you can hear me.
Well, also, I have some numbers for the hive as well. Do you want to know how many hive there are?
Yeah, can I just get some numbers for Hive because we have some pretty
Yeah,
a
yeah,
rough
sure.
estimate how many legions
Yeah,
and chapters there are
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
sure.
state.
Yeah, I can tell you. Yeah, there's a beyond infinite amount of hive.
Infinite Hive. Okay, please
A
explain how
beyond
it works.
infinite amount of hive.
Okay, how does
Oh
that
yeah, sure.
happen?
So there's a
What?
yeah, sure. So there's an so if you look in the rune lore, in fact I showed the lore in the versus battle I put up with my buddy Master Reaper, and the rune lore it clearly talks about that Oryx has an infinite amount of hive. There's an infinite amount of hive and a network system that's infinitely deep.
Also mean there's an infinite
Everything
amount of
within
Hive
the
gods.
ascendant plane actually, everything within the ascendant plane actually downscales from Oryx. Oryx scales above it
Okay,
all. He's at the top.
so okay,
So
so in terms of outer media outside of Warhammer or Destiny, what do you think can even contend with Oryx? Is like what I'm fucking hearing here. This man is nigh unstoppable. So unless you're a guardian, of course,
oh
but
yeah, sure. I actually, and yeah, in my tier list video, I outline it. So the caretaker would win because the caretaker scales above Savathun. Savathun, before she even got the light, surpassed Oryx by tricking the Witness. The Witness is the god that Oryx prays to, because Savathun tricked the Witness of all things. Because in Destiny, virtually any character can use their opponent as a power battery of sorts. That's why you have like these random bullshit amps that just come out of nowhere. It's because about every character with a form of power uh, can like use their opponents as power batteries and empower themselves. So
okay,
that's what Savathun did with the Witness. And to
yeah,
trick and to trick the Witness and to trick the Witness of all things and be one of the very reasons why the collapse didn't just destroy the entire solar system. That gave her more than enough power to surpass Oryx, definitely. Oryx doesn't have anything on that level. And then we have another thing that puts Savathun on top of Oryx. Savathun, when prepped, actually managed to disable the Upended temporarily and seal Rolk within his pyramid ship. His influence was
I know
extremely
that part.
weak outside of
I
the
know.
ship.
I know that.
So
Okay.
now here's the thing with Savathun. Her abilities, she can massively amp herself via prep. She's like one of those characters. She has a scaling flex where it depends on the ability she's using, and it depends on the amount of time she's had to prepare that ability. Because she went
Okay.
from like being main character level and being hurtable to like being able to like, seal the Traveler of all things.
Mm,
So
okay.
the Traveler,
Well, I don't think the Imperium has anything like that to
the
scale.
Traveler, the reason why the Traveler matters is because the Traveler repelled the Black Fleet from the solar system as soon as it was awakened and it was healed and back at full power.
Mhm.
This was shown back in Season of Arrivals before Beyond Light.
Okay.
It's like when a beast tries to like bite down, but then you like grab the teeth of the beast and hold it with your arms.
Mhm.
It's what the Traveler did and basically just pushed the Black Fleet away. Or at the very least, it didn't kick all of the ships out of the system because there's still the Lunar Pyramid one.
Right.
But it did repel the Black Fleet, so it didn't swallow the entire star system.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna call my associate here to fucking help me out here because I have nothing. I can't think of anything that the Imperium has of that scale
Oh,
or of.
by the way, I'm still just lowballing. So this is
Okay.
without even getting into the throne increases.
Okay. Bryce, Hope, please, bro. I'm getting murdered out here. You gotta say something, bro. You know more about the Imperium than me. I only did the military part of that research. So
Sorry.
But by the way, anything finite in scope is simply worthless because the Hive are beyond finite. So
Fine, at least, but
anything that
okay.
is high hyperversal or below is garbage to the Hive.
All right, my food here. I'll be right back. You guys do the thing. I'll be back.
So I
Yeah.
don't know what I was asked because I wasn't here.
Okay, so Wub was wondering if you had anything to, like match Infinity, basically, with the Hive.
Like number wise, like populace.
Yeah,
Or,
anything beyond finite. Yes.
Okay, I'm
I
back.
mean, the numbers of the Imperium. There's like it. The thing with Warhammer, there's no set number.
The numbers
for pretty
don't
much
the
anything.
numbers don't matter. Yeah, but the numbers don't matter if it's finite.
Okay, yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Do we have anything that's beyond finite?
Really, the only thing that I can think of that is beyond finite is the Emperor himself,
Yeah, that and Vulcan.
because and it, yeah, Vulcan too. And Magnus as well. Magnus is also pretty fucking strong, and Horus before he turned.
Yeah.
So I guess we should try to explain like the Primarchs.
Okay. Here's the thing about I had a similar discussion with Ghost before, on Warhammer stuff. Here's the thing. You know how like all the Chaos Gods represent death?
Yeah.
No, that's not.
That
Oh,
that
well,
is
okay. Rice. Yeah, that's like
but they represent negative concepts. That's all
Not
the sword
really.
logic needs.
Not.
Okay.
It's not
What negative what concepts do they represent that are not negative?
Corn represents like honor, glory, respect. Nurgle is
That's under the purview of the Hive. Yes.
so Nurgle's pretty much just like death, decay. So there's nothing positive. Well, I mean, Nurgle's like body positivity, so he's very like loving.
Mhm.
So I mean, I guess there's that. Um, Slaanesh is literally just emotion, like she or he, whatever you want to call Slaanesh. Represents like any
Okay.
desire, any lust, and like love,
So
like any emotion.
so I have a question for you.
What?
What can the Chaos Gods do when Orc simply just pulls up and absorbs the entire cosmological realm they're in into his own?
That's a very good question, because look, I know that chaos.
What
is like this,
happens? What do you think will happen whenever Oryx just simply comes in and uses the ability to take, but then decides to use like the actual range of it than what's
That
ever been
though,
shown on screen?
what are the limits to taking though? Because I don't know exactly know what the power cap on taking is. Like, can Oryx just take a
Sure.
god if
So
he wants
Oryx
to?
has an Yes, matter of fact, Oryx has a beyond outer versal AOE with some of his attacks, including taking. He can take you even if he's an outer versal distance away from you.
Interesting. Please
He was
explain how that
literally
works. Though.
inside the old. So outer versal is beyond concepts, right? Which means it's beyond the concept of distance inherently. Oryx traverses those distances all the time, both physically, and he has abilities that allow him to do that. He's literally been known to walk across the Ascendant Plane for hundreds of years and walking through thrones just to get back to his.
So I want to say that the warp is essentially a throne world. Just saying.
Okay, so it's the same as an Ascendant Acolyte's throne world? Or it's the same as a Hive God's throne world?
It's
Because
so,
I can get into the scaling for the throne worlds also.
So I don't know a lot about like throne worlds, because I don't really study the Hive lore. Um,
It's
but
fun.
I do know that, like, for example, how Savathun in The Witch Queen, she's like every step you take, like everything you do in her throne world, she knows or whatever.
Yeah, that is extreme information analysis. I had a discussion a while back with a few people. The conclusion seems to be that it's mirroring omniscience when really it's like an extreme form of information
So
analysis within the throne world.
like anything in the warp, like anything that goes on in the warp, the Chaos Gods like know what's happening. If that makes sense. Like anything that happens in
Right.
the warp.
So what
they
if
know.
Oryx just simply absorbs the entirety of the warp?
But the thing is, I don't think you could do that. Cause like I
Yeah,
don't know.
he does that shit all the time. What do you mean?
Hold on.
Okay,
You didn't know?
let me ask a question. Wait, follow up question. So what's stopping Oryx from just taking Guardians?
Yeah.
Oh, that's simple. So, the reason is because Oryx, he wanted to challenge the Guardian in the rules of the sword logic, because we was attacking Crota, we was directly attacking his power. So therefore, he was
could have
forced to
taken
come to
us.
the solar system. No, it's because he's a sword logic god. So while he could have, what he wanted to do mostly was just stay inside his ship. And okay, you know the Kingsfall raid?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to understand, Oryx is a bit ritualistic, like an Aztec god. Okay, he's somewhat like that. So we had to physically beat him in the ship because we had to earn the right to challenge him inside of his throne world. We didn't just beat him and then go into the throne. We had to literally beat him, and then we had to go all around the solar system and kill his echoes. Bodies of him.
Mm-hmm.
We had to kill all of those, and that gave us the right to challenge him, or challenge the High War. Because the fire team was strong enough to challenge the High War.
Compared to like the Emperor, like how powerful are the shadows? Like, do they hold a fragment of power? Because the way I see it, that the shadows are just a duplicate, or essentially a Primarch.
Well, yeah. So that's a good question. So here's the problem: when we fought Oryx, he was nerfed. That's the first problem. The second problem is identifying what the nerf was. The nerf was a compassion nerf because he's a compassionate god. He's this weird paradox. Okay, here's the thing. Inherently, he's allowed to be a paradox because of his authority on axioms. So, like, paradoxically, he's a compassionate god, but he's also a death god. And in the Hive, love is war, war is love. They encourage each other. In fact, Savathun, Oryx, and Xivu Arath tell each other to kill each other because they're saying they love each other by doing that. Because they can challenge and beat each other and make each other stronger, so nothing can challenge them. So, Oryx, okay, I want you to think about this for a second. Okay, so first, you have to understand. You remember the Gift Mast and Carven Rune? Okay, so the Gift Mast and Carven Rune it's a physical expression of the Thor logic. Okay, the tribute. It's also power, but also it's a connection to all the hive, because they're giving Oryx, or they're giving Crota, who's then giving Oryx power. Okay. So we're going after each and every one of them. We're going after Crota's power, and then we're eventually going after Crota. Then we beat. Okay, here's the thing. You remember when we fought Crota's ghost? We beat the shit out of his ghost and threw him back into his throne world, which massively weakened Crota. So Crota was still alive at this point, but then he was in his throne world.
Okay.
So we had to go in his throne, kill the entirety of Crota's army, and then eventually we had to challenge and then kill Crota with a sword logic weapon, because we had no authority at the time to challenge Crota.
Okay.
So we had to use the sword of the Willbreaker.
So
hold on. No. This ties in later stuff. So
okay.
Full power Crota. We know full power Crota should scale above the War Priest, because the War Priest sees Crota as his god, which means as full power Crota would scale massively above the War Priest. We can always debate on the daughters and Crota, or Golgoroth, the daughters and Crota, but we know that Golgoroth is somewhere there-ish, probably not. But Golgoroth that thing is like a whole other level above the War Priest is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, these characters I'm talking about are gods, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're at the top of the plane. Now let me start from the bottom. In every throne world, first, the question whether or not they stack or whether or not they're just scattered has already been asked a long time ago. We know Oryx is stronger than Crota, and we also have the Books of Sorrow, which tell us about Oryx's throne world, which he told us about directly, which also ties into the lore for Touch of Malice, so it is canon. So he tells us directly that he has authority in his throne world, and that everything within his throne world has to follow his rules. So we know that the stronger you are, the higher up in the stack that your throne world is. So at the very start, we have 11 axioms within the throne worlds. Space and time are 2 axioms. That's the only reason why there's space and time within the Ascendant space, because it's all an abstract plane. Everything I'm telling you is all abstract. So there's 11 axioms. And then there's a beyond infinite amount of these thrones. And then at some point, the increases stop being just beyond infinite to then go to being inaccessible and up. And eventually you arrive at the gods. And then we know that somewhere in the gods there's a stopping point between Books of Sorrow, Quoria, and Oryx. And it's a massive one.
Okay.
So.
Well, I was gonna say this here. I have no fucking idea how the Imperium could beat something like that. I don't think they possess anything of that scale or anything that powerful. So, yeah, the Emperor takes the L on this one.
Oh shit!
But I think a more fair.
Actually, hold on. Let me tell you something else that's cool. So, have you seen a picture of Savathun before?
Yeah.
You just made her more immortal. She now exists inside your head.
Oh,
if you can tell me how the Emperor of Mankind can pull Savathun out of your head, along with millions of other people's heads, please tell me. I'm all ears.
Yeah, I think that's that. I saw that. I think I saw that video between that. Who's that one girl from Fate? Yeah, that shit was retarded. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, BB. Yeah,
BB. Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, do you know how much lore is associated with Oryx? You want to know how much?
Probably more than I can imagine.
When I get around to doing the Oryx video sometime within the next couple months, it's probably going to be like 20 to like 40 minutes. Like spitball, at least. You
need to do like a structured video with like the Hive's military.
I plan to.
Gods.
Matter of fact, this season, I also have a video planned for the Pirate Lords. Also,
that's actually sick as fuck. I'm pretty hyped for that because, like, I mean, I understood that the Hive were a serious threat and like. But I never really understood how fucking dangerous the Hive were. You know what I mean? Like I knew they were strong, but not this fucking.
Yeah, my man. I don't think you realize this, but Oryx has enough power to annihilate multiple pyramid ships. That's like the most insane you can get right now in Destiny. The pyramid ships are the hardest thing in verse to destroy currently, with with where it matters, obviously.
So that being said, how how does Rolk scale? How powerful is Rolk?
Oh,
Because I know
sure.
Rolk's above
Oh,
Horus.
sure. So, Rolk bitch makes each and every hive within the universe.
Yeah, I figured.
No. It's worse than you think. Okay, here's the thing. You know the sword logic power?
Yeah, I know that scales with like how
That
much you
so
kill.
no. It's worse than you think. It's way worse. Do you know? Well, okay, do you know what happens in the Worm God story?
In the Worm God story, I know that
Yeah. So
that when
okay,
fucking Rolk came down to Fundament.
all right. Let's go back a little bit. So you remember the Books of Sorrow?
Yes, the books of sorrow. Yeah.
Rolk has a whole storyline of his own that precedes the books. So first, on his planet Libre, he has two stars or two suns on his planet. They talked about.
Hmm.
There's a blue sun and then there's a red sun. So you have the red sun walkers and the blue sun walkers. Okay. Rolk, he is like this psychopath dude. You can kind of think of him as like an opposite of Kira, but kind of like Kira from JoJo, right? At this point in
Okay,
Libre.
interesting.
So the dude he used to be some normal dude who was just really fucked up, but then so one day like his family gets invaded and his father is taken away. So then he goes on this journey to get his father. So he goes and kills a bunch of these fucking Lubranians, takes a glaive, and he goes into battle with it. And then he kills and he kills and he kills and kills and kills. Because his family rejected him because a group of soldiers. See, what had happened before his father was taken is that a group of soldiers came, and he fought and killed soldiers. But then his father went with the soldiers. So then his family was scared of the fact that he was really, really good with a weapon. So now this dude is, if you've seen gameplay, this dude is a big dude, like real big dude. Like the dude's taller than Savathun.
Destiny. I'm actually tall. I'm
Yeah,
actually playing Destiny right now. But
Mary, this dude is fucking huge. So okay, so now at this point, so Rolk, he feels rejected by his family because they're kind of pushing him away because the dude's insane. So like he managed to effortlessly kill like every soldier with a glaive. So now I want you to keep in mind at this point, this is nothing to what I'm about to tell you later. So eventually he then eventually finds his father after doing all that killing. It's in his lore book, the one you do by doing Val the Disciple.
yeah, I've seen that
you know what I'm
Spike
talking
made a
about.
video.
So
yeah.
So now, let me put it to you this way. So the Lubranians are beyond the Vex. You have to understand this, right? They're fundamentally beyond the Vex. We fought a Lubranian. Okay. Now, when he met his father, it turns out his father was part of the military, that sent the soldiers out. So his father is actually a part of them. So then he eventually just allies with his father because his father accepts him and all. And then, he does a bunch of more killing, so he gets stronger and stronger. So then, eventually, he eventually turns on his father because something happened later. And then, because his father betrayed him and about killed him. And you know what happened when he got shoved into, like, was it a canyon or something?
He just destroyed the planet. I know he just like slammed his
No,
glaive to the ground and obliterated.
no. This is the turning point here. So he falls into his planet. So then his glaive is broken. He's about dead. He meets the witness finally, and then the witness grants him a power so extreme that's incomprehensible. He's the first disciple of the witness. That's fundamentally beyond the hive at any level. So like before he even got his power, the witness wanted him to be the first disciple. So then eventually he becomes paracausal. He gets this new glaive called Lubre's Ruin. Then he goes up, he kills each and every one of those soldiers finally. And then the witness is like, hey man, do you have fucking Polo Lobo? And like eventually the dude goes nuts and then he gets this thing called the Upended. He uses it, which cracks the. No, here's the thing. See, something that's gaseous isn't exactly physical, right?
Exactly.
I want you to imagine this real quick. I want you to imagine this real quick. So, the Upended cracks the star as if it was physical, like, and everything about the star that made it a star, it upended and went inside itself, inverted. It upended itself. So it's inverting but also reversing, right?
Hmm.
So, and then it eventually destroyed itself and blew up. So,
So,
uh,
the Rolk possesses a
now,
weapon. So, how often can he
now,
call upon that?
oh, he can call it anytime he wants. The
Okay.
ship doesn't amp him anyway. In any way, the upended is there. The upended does nothing.
Okay.
So what he's doing is in fact what he can do anywhere he wants. So he can summon the glaive anytime he wants to stab you. He can just choose to kick you and everything. Blah 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 blah. Right
Yeah.
now, okay. So now eventually, now here's where the Witch Queen twist comes in. Where the worm thing. See, something else happens before that. We don't really know where the Leviathan Beast comes in, but we know the Leviathan Beast was there because Rolk met it. Fucking pulled a Mortal Kombat and like took the man's bone out from wherever he took it out from,
That it's ribbed.
and
Yeah.
like kept it as a little, and then I kept it as a trophy. Yeah. And
Mhm.
Merit, this dude does not care about AoE at all. He didn't even use any. He physically swam into the dude's body, fucking went through it like it was fucking torn paper, grabbed the dude's bone, fucking swam back out like he was going to the park.
I think that's so fucking
And
crap.
as like, bitch, I took your bone. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Right.
I knew
So
Rolk was on some shit when he fucking
so
took a fucking motherfucker's rib. Like, that is crazy. You don't fucking ever hear about that in media. Like, yeah, hey, you're not
yeah.
listening to me? I'm taking your rib, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
Completely
Yeah.
insane.
So then eventually they meet Zeta, who scales above all the worms. Okay.
Hmm.
Zeta is like, I'll be your fucking power battery, bitch, whatever. And then like the worms eventually got the sword logic, right? And the Books of Sorrow happened.
Right.
So now, I want you to think about this, right? So now, Rolk scaled above the hive before he even was like, he was physical and he scaled above all the hive.
Okay, so in his physical form, he already outscales Hive in their Ascendant Thrones, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He literally, if he wanted to, he could just pull up like he was fucking Kid Buu and get all the smoke and get out. That's it. If he wanted to, it would literally be the same as going through a park to him. Like
I
he
mean, a
is
man that
more
fights
fundamental
ants
than the
behind his
Ascendant
back.
Plane. The Ascendant Plane is like finite to the man. Like it was even described, the sword logic is like a mere infinitesimal, like a mere physical, like a mere grain of sand, right? Like not even a comment about the infinitude of it. It was just, this is garbage, right? Like it's a physical statement. He views the hive to be physical to him.
That's insane.
He's beyond. Yeah. So now, do you know the Paraverse scaling?
I do not know the pair scaling.
Let me explain this to you because this is canon. This is not from my mouth. This is from the lore. I'm just telling you what the lore is telling you, actually, straight up. So, the Paraverse is all the Bungie games. Okay.
Okay.
See, the Bungieverse, it's a metaverse because it contains multiple narratives. There's multiple of it. You know what Star Horse does?
It traverses them, right? Or
So let me put it to you this way. Star Horse is beyond everything right now that we have that we've seen in Destiny 2.
does that
Star Horse
include?
would like bop everything, right? Now listen, right? Destiny and all the other Bungie games, all the infinite timelines, every single one of them are all ammo for a game show that it created.
What?
You want to hear? You want to hear the scarier part?
No, hold on. So you're telling me that Halo is
Bungieverse,
ammo?
the Bungie Paraverse, is pure ammo for a game show called Dares
That's
of Eternity. You know
I
what I'm
did not
talking
know
about.
that shit. That mind fucked the shit out of me, dude.
So now,
Insane.
you want to hear something more? You want to hear something even more damning?
Yeah.
We already know Marathon's canon anyway, because the Might Multi-Tool lore.
Yeah,
So good.
I knew that Mida was in fucking
So now you want to hear the
Destiny.
scarier part?
Hmm.
The crossovers in Destiny are canon because they're within the Paraverse. You bring Destiny anywhere, it's technically canon to Destiny because it's within the Paraverse. Because it's within the Bungieverse.
That's insane.
Destiny is at the top of Bungieverse. Because the Paraverse is created by a 9-horse.
That's fucking insane. I did not know any of that.
So Destiny actually outscales the Paraverse. It literally outscales its own Paraverse via the Winnower and the Gardener and whatnot.
That's fucking wild. But
Yeah.
that being said, like the only thing that I can consider to be sort of on even ground here, because the Imperium's not winning against the Vex. The Imperium's definitely not winning against the Hive. The Imperium,
Actually, I have a good question for you. How strong do you think Elder Scrolls is?
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
I don't
Pretty
know
insane,
anything
right?
about Elder Scrolls.
But you'd
No,
say it's pretty insane, right?
I would if I knew anything about Elder Scrolls, but I don't know anything about Elder Scrolls at all.
It's one of those notorious top five type verses with like Dizere, right? Dizere has its own bullshit. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If like a lot of people consider Dizere, you probably know what Dizere is, right?
Dizer, no.
Shinzai Banzo, Reinhard, Hydric, Hajun, Ran
That
Fujimura.
Reinhardt sounds
Not Fujimura.
familiar.
Blonde hair, fucking German Nazi looking motherfucker.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Okay. Let me put it this way: Elder Scrolls is like up there with it. All right. Okay. Now, in Elder Scrolls, there's like the second highest tier called the Emirates. At the top of the tier, there's a character called Lorkhan. I used Oryx in a debate against someone who repped Lorkhan. You know what happened?
Can only imagine the
Even
Oryx
though
one.
even if stats were equal, I still outskilled massively by a whole tier at least. And Oryx is like is like mid tier in Destiny scaling.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. I did not know any of this. This is all new information to me.
You want to hear the arguments. Now, you want to hear why Oryx is actually terrifying? He's terrifying for actually two reasons, not just the taking.
Okay, what are the other two?
Okay, so first, he has multiple forms of adaptation. That's not surprising. Everyone knows this by now. But what they didn't know is that he absorbed Ahamkara before going into the Taken King DLC. That one called Riven. Yeah,
Oh,
you know who Riven is. The raid lore
yeah,
tells you.
I didn't know
Now, do you want to hear the thing about Oryx?
Hmm.
He was out of character for taking King. The only thing in character about him is King's Fall. You know what he can do when he's trying?
Wipe out civilizations with a thought, more than likely. I don't know. That doesn't.
Yes, but he can also use Ahamkara magic.
He can wish?
He can wish. He absorbed Riven. Riven became one with Oryx.
Oh, fucking, that is insane. Okay, so Oryx can actually work sort of the same way the Flood do in terms of, like, he takes you and he learns all your knowledge.
Oh, no. The taking is a whole other level beyond wishing, actually. The wish scale is below the taking. So, the taking... Okay, have you heard of Ontology?
Ontology? I know that it's like... You know what I'm going to say? Just no. I don't know. No.
Okay, so you know SCP? And like
yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so... Ontology is the deepest level possible scaling. Now, you know when Destiny made its ontological scaling statements?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of levels below Oryx.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, actually. Okay, so it's like this. It was in Forsaken, so it's a perfect spot. The Riven going into Last Wish scaled below Oryx because Oryx absorbed Riven. So, he's inherently stronger than Riven because of how taking works. Bro, but even below Riven, below Morgith, at just the taken Techians, they have ontological attacks they can casually pull out whenever they want.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well,
So now this gets more insane. You want to know why the Ahamkara is scary?
I know that they can like literally not die. Like them
No,
dying
no,
is
no.
not a
It's even
concept.
worse. No, it's even worse. This is new lore. It's even worse. You want to know why?
Okay. Why?
When you die, or I'm sorry, when you kill an Ahamkara, you make them more real. They had the same effect. So they're in that space. They punch you in the face. You do whatever you want. Okay, you get a lucky cut off its head, whatever, and then you somehow cleanse the heart away. Cool, right? Whatever.
Hmm.
No, doesn't matter. They have the same influence as if they were there, even though they're not. You have to literally purify them away from the space, so their influence is gone, even if they're not around.
Interesting. I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, by killing them, you make them more real. It's literally Featherine's weakness, but with no cap attached to it.
That's insane. I have a few
They
fucking friends that
they literally transcend death. You cannot conventionally kill them.
I have a few
You
friends in my other friend group that literally simp Fate Grand Order and like all these other things. So
okay?
I'm gonna
You
need
want to hear
them.
you want to hear the funny part?
Hmm.
Ahamkara have like no limits fallacy type mechanics of their wishes.